Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Reese DS76C. This is a piece of what Reese calls door jamb weatherstrip. This is in a clear anodized aluminum finish with a neoprene insert. Let's take some basic dimensional properties of this and then we'll talk about what it's used for. The overall dimension of this item they don't give in the catalog, so let's tell you what it is. 1 5/8". That's going to be, should be 1 inch worth of neoprene. Yeah, 1 inch worth, pardon me, 1 inch worth of aluminum and then 5/8 worth of neoprene. So 1 5/8". It's going to have an overall thickness of 1/2 inch. Well, they're saying it's 3/8 of the neoprene, and I would say that that would be accurate. If this was the genuine item and it's just a 6-inch sample piece, it's sure going to compress ever so slightly into the top of the neoprene, giving you the 3/8 dimension that's there. This would be sponge neoprene. There's an image that we're going to take a closer look at, and we're going to talk about why sponge neoprene is the deal. This is held on with just pressure sensitive adhesive. That's here, and again, if this was the genuine article, there would be holes drilled in uniform center to center spacing for mechanically fastening it, and that's what will hold the sponge neoprene to the aluminum once that screw goes right through the center of it. Now let's talk about exactly what you're going to use this gasketing for. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the DS76 is going to be used primarily in installations where you require an extremely robust piece of gasketing, meaning you need a real generous amount of insert. This is sponge neoprene. It's very large. It's 3/8 thick. It's you know, the overall size of the neoprene itself is about 1 1/8". With a 5/8 exposed distance there, so it's going to be really quite substantial. Now they call this door jamb gasketing, I think is the term that they use. Yeah, door jamb weatherstrip. You could also, it wouldn't be unheard of to see this used as a door sweep at all. This would be really an instance where you're not going to ask the insert to flex very much. You wouldn't be dragging this over a large threshold or against the floor, but if you had an application where the door was closing up against something in a butt-up sort of style, and that would certainly work. It's just you could have an application where the frame is installed, the door is installed, and when you close the door, it literally comes to a sill that's like a step. Alley, restaurant, door installed, 8 inches off of the alley height is the sill. The frame is flush with that exterior masonry wall, and there's no way to hang a threshold off of that. So what sometimes they'll do is they'll leave just the concrete sill and they'll add a heavy-duty door sweep so that when the door closes, but the inside face of the neoprene is really hitting that concrete stoop, or the concrete sill would be an idea. But if you're going to use this as perimeter gasketing, it's because you want something really big and heavy duty. You have an exceptional amount of difference between the exterior temperature and the interior temperature. Extremely hot, extremely cold. I'm from Chicago. I'm no stranger to sub-zero temperatures. 2 weeks ago I was in Death Valley, so it was easily 121 degrees there. And while that's not necessarily a lot hotter than Phoenix, which was 114, even though it is, the difference with the Death Valley analogy is that everything there is radiating heat. The temperature might only be 6 or 7 degrees different, but that Death Valley application feels substantially hotter because everything is just like a microwave. It is just producing heat energy and it is moving. So when there's a slight breeze in Death Valley, it feels like you've opened the oven door. That doesn't occur in Phoenix. It's hot, sure, but you don't ever feel that you've opened an oven door. The point of all of that is, regardless of it being sub-zero or exceptionally hot, you want to keep something out. And the bigger, meaner, nastier like this, the more effective it's going to be. There are downsizes to material like this. As I referred to earlier, it's not really flexible. When you install this, the door needs to make contact with this, but it's not going to squish too very much because you have a lot of surface area. Let's say you've got two pieces that are 7 foot, you've got a 3 foot piece. It's a lot of material to ask to crush down. Now, what's nice about the sponge type neoprene is that it is going to be exceptionally effective at retarding the transmission of extreme temperature differences, and number two, acoustical energy. So spongy neoprene is really good for keeping sound down as well. What sponge neoprene is not good for, and that's why car tires aren't made out of spongy neoprene, is because it's got little tiny holes in here. That's not good for water penetration. But if water gets to the inside of your door where it's going to hit this material, you've got a different problem. So you wouldn't see sponge neoprene used in applications that needed to keep water out. Closed cell neoprene, or maybe polyurethane, would be good for that. The one thing that you have to be super mindful of weather stripping like this when it gets really big is because it can get so thick that on your door hardware, lever, grade 1, 3 9/16 diameter rows, 2 3/4 back set, you've got a very small amount of area between the edge of the rosette and the stop on the frame in which to stick this in. You get out to maybe 1 1/8 inches wide on material, and this is not close to that, but you have to be mindful. When you get thicker material, you might need to increase the back set of your hardware. That's an issue. So be mindful of that. It would be very effective in those types of applications. The other reason, and then we'll move on to the screen view, is why you might want something so thick. Imagine if you had, and this is a real scenario that I've been involved in many times, a restaurant on a busy thoroughfare, let's say the Lincoln Park area of Chicago, because that's the one job that we did that always comes to mind. 3 foot by 6 foot windows, there's pairs of them, and in the summer they're going to open those windows up, nice breeze coming through, the whole 9 yards. Well, they will people, woodworkers, installers, contractors, architects, designers, engineers, they'll very often use the gasketing to do two purposes: seal and act as the door stop as well. So that's an advantage of this being so thick. A hollow metal stop is 5/8. Wood stops are generally 1/2 inch. This is 3/8, but if you're running 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch margin, let's say 1/8 of an inch, you'll have a good positive seal against this. And for that matter, if you had a saddle threshold and you wanted to turn it into a bump up style, you could take something like this and use it as a threshold stop strip and attach it right to the top of the existing threshold, and people do that. Screw it down, and now not only do you have a threshold under your door, but now you're making contact in a butt-up style sort of application. So let's switch to the screen view and let's look at all the supporting information on this Reese DS76. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now let's get back to it. Okay, we are looking at the extended description of the item as seen here. Image from the factory, 3/8 sponge neoprene, 1 inch wide on the aluminum. We measured this to be 5/8, 3/8 thick. I don't know why Reese is missing lots of dimensions. It's important to know the overall width because you won't know if it'll fit on your stop. But that is a condition that you see in the rest of their catalog. Smoke and draft control, fire rated, includes 6x5/8 panhead screws. If you need the parts UL labeled, indicate a F as a prefix when ordering. That usually does incur a upcharge. Confirm that before you order the material to save us having to come back to you for a marginal and additional charge. The link to the product catalog is here, or the brochure, which will show you the DS76C. Sister products that are here. Different size sponge neoprene, which is on this page. Different size holders, etc. Now, we have some images here. Here's a cross-section view of the item. DS76. The C means clear anodized aluminum finish. The backside showing the tiny pockets in the sponge neoprene is what we're attempting to do there. Now, there is a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page. When we click on that, we can pull up not only all of the Reese products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here. There's also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I would certainly suggest that you review that. It will allow you to review all such things Reese gasketing related. Get to the the DS76 page, and that'll show us it's available in dark bronze and also gold anodized all over aluminum. Smoke rated, positive pressure rated as well. The old standard for fire doors was neutral pressure. This is positive pressure, a more a modern methodology when it comes to testing fire doors, and it's UL rated as well. Highlights in the catalog from Reese, I would want to point out their table or chart of STC rated items. So if you're looking for material that's sound transmission control rated, it would be here on their page 7. Depending on the STC rating that you want to hit, these would be the row would be the compatible pieces of gasketing that you'd want to come up with. So that's pretty handy. Let's say if you're doing an STC 46, you can use the 521 door bottom. You can search for 521, and you will get there. Here's the 521. That's an automatic door bottom that's there. Different finishes, a detail of the item itself. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. So in conclusion, if you have any questions on the Reese DS76C, sponge neoprene gasketing, or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us. A very enjoyable company to work with. They are straightforward, simple, no nonsense. You send them an order, they will ship the material out. They do hold the title of major weather stripping manufacturer with the shortest lead times. They may not have hundreds or thousands of feet of a particular item, so extremely large orders usually increase the lead time, but the majority of orders are generally small size, 1 opening, 3 openings, 20 openings, that sort of thing. Reese shines in that area. Their customer service is exceptional. Their ability to just simply produce orders and ship is extremely above average. And the quality, as far as I'm concerned, is superior. Whenever I hold a Reese item, especially a threshold, it simply feels heavier. And when I put it on the scale, I can see that it's heavier. And the reason it's heavier is because the aluminum extrusions are thicker. And then finally, their D finish, the dark bronze. There are, because it's an aluminum base material, when you say dark bronze, that's a rather broad definition. You can have extremely dark bronze to where some people will say it's black, and there are times when you would have to hold it up to something that is actually black to see, yeah, that's really close to black, but it's not black, but almost practically black. And then there's another manufacturer who's a little bit lighter. But if you're matching oil rubbed bronze, 613 finish, you'll want the Reese product with no substitute. It is a far lighter, richer sort of oil-rubbed bronze type of finish over aluminum. On that manufacturer's page, there's a link to a video that we have there that shows the different finishes of material from Reese, so I would suggest that you review that completely. Any questions on this or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us, and thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.